Today I would like to share about imposter syndrome, what it is, how a person who has imposter syndrome feels, and what kind of challenges they might face, and what are some tips they can use to help themselves to overcome these challenges, and what might be useful for them to support themselves, and what kind of questions they can ask themselves in order to overcome these challenges. A person who is having an imposter syndrome has a persistent fear or anxiety about their abilities, and they doubt in their qualities despite the fact that they have achieved a lot in their field. And paradoxically, people who are more successful tend to have more of this imposter syndrome characters, and they generally attribute their success to external factors, whereas they forget about their own strengths, and they constantly doubt about their abilities, and they are a kind of perfectionist. People want everything to be perfect, and each time they doubt about their abilities. So, and generally these people have some feelings of fear or anxiety, especially when they want to perform in their field, and this might really harm their success, and this can become an obstacle in their way, even if they have sufficient knowledge on this field or they are very hardworking. Despite this, because of these thoughts, it can be more challenging for them to be successful. Therefore, it's important to address challenges and to work with these thoughts that are leading to imposter syndrome. And in that sense, self-reflection, therapies, increasing self-awareness, and working with themselves can be helpful to overcome these challenges, to become aware of these thought patterns, and asking yourself the right questions can help to find new ways of coping with these challenges, and being successful, and believing in their abilities. Increasing their hope in success can help them to achieve what they want to achieve easier, and to be successful in their life, and to have a peace and harmony. Imposter syndrome can show up in different fields of their life, such as personal relationships, education, career, or any other fields, and it might have negative impact on relationships. For instance, imagine if someone is constantly anxious about their relationship and their role in the relationship, and constantly trying to prove themselves. This might cause some problems in the relationship. And if a person is constantly trying to prove themselves about their abilities and overworking, overstudying, this might also cause a burnout and extra stress, anxiety, which might complicate their lives, and which would be very difficult for them to cope with. Therefore, it's important to understand what thoughts are leading to imposter syndrome, to make self-reflections, to work with these thoughts, and also increasing social support, seeking therapies, professional support, and understanding the causes why you are having imposter syndrome, and finding ways to cope with it is important to stay calm, peaceful, in harmony, and to have prosperity and success, and to stay healthy in life. Some of negative consequences of having imposter syndrome for long periods of time is that not taking enough risks and not trying new things because of fears of failure or being not successful. But on the other hand, there are some positive aspects of imposter syndrome as well. For instance, the person who is struggling with imposter syndrome might also always shift themselves towards growth, towards learning, trying new things. So it might manifest in different kinds and types in different people. However, if you notice that imposter syndrome is causing you considerable harm, as I said, it's important to address and to work with it. So you can use these tips in order to work with imposter syndrome. First of all, become aware of thoughts that you are having. when you are having fear or excessive anxiety? What kind of thoughts do you have? It might be that your mind is telling you that you can't succeed, that it's too difficult for you, that you don't have enough skills or qualities in order to succeed. So once you become aware of these thoughts, you can take some actions in order to control, to take steps to control the situations. For instance, you can learn more about the subject, you can train more, you can ask for feedback from the other people. But it's important to understand that this shouldn't be like overworking. There should be a balance. Once you have done this, and like you need to keep the balance and not forward yourself towards burnout, because constantly reading, constantly researching, and overworking, overstudying might cause burnout. So becoming aware of your imposter syndrome and keeping this balance and staying aware of the thoughts can help you to find a more balanced way of dealing with the problem. And it's also important to understand what's the impact of these thoughts on your sense of self. For instance, if your mind is telling you that you are a failure or you are going to fail, it can be useful to question yourself. What are some examples? What is some evidence that you are a failure? Or you can ask, on the contrary, weren't there any situations when you were successful? And thinking about situations when you were successful, when you succeeded, and when you completed your tasks, and when everything went well, can help to realize that these are just thoughts, and you are the one who is experiencing these thoughts, and you are not a failure. You are not just someone who is struggling with challenges right now and who is trying to be successful, and their mind is trying to help them to be more successful. And thinking about different roles, different versions of themselves in the past, and maybe thinking about some versions in the future can help to expand this sense of self and to concentrate on what's important for you, despite instead of being stuck on the thoughts that you are a failure. So comparing and understanding relationship of the thoughts with your sense of self might also help to realize that these thoughts are not realistic, or these thoughts that you are having will not be useful for you to achieve your goals. And when you are trying to understand your sense of self and understand the relationship of your thoughts and sense of self and their impact on your behavior, maybe even if you didn't succeed in a certain field, for instance, if you are trying something new, such as you are learning to paint, to draw something, and you haven't painted before, you can think of situations when you succeeded in your different roles. For instance, you might be a very good mother, caring mother, and if you were successful in that field, it means that you have a chance, you have capabilities to succeed in this field as well. And you can ask yourself, what of your internal resources and what of your qualities helped you to succeed. For instance, it can be that because you were caring, you were loving your job and the people who were impacted by that skill or that job, and maybe your patience, your hardworking qualities help you to succeed. And you can try to use the same tactics, techniques, skills that you used for this field, and you would see that once you are using these internal resources, your chances of being successful are much higher than if you were just stuck with the thought that you are a failure and that you can't succeed. Thinking about times when you succeeded and using those resources to achieve the outcome that you want would be useful in your struggles. And thinking about what is important for you in life, what kind of achievements you would like to achieve and what you would like to do. Thinking about this might help to reduce the impact of imposter syndrome on you, because It's inevitable that we would have some thoughts and challenging feelings from time to time, but when you set for yourself some goals and when you clarify your goals, it will get easier to achieve these goals despite these uncomfortable feelings. And if we accept these uncomfortable thoughts and feelings as a normal process of achieving to the goal, we will become more willing to suffer or to accept those feelings, and also reminding ourselves that these challenging feelings are common character of humanity, that everyone is experiencing this kind of feelings such as anxiety, self-doubt from time to time, and that they are actually helping us to become better and to become more skilled, can help to develop a sense of common humanity, and normalizing these feelings, accepting these feelings, opening space for these feelings can help to decrease their impact on our behavior and keep going and accepting feelings despite the discomfort. So using these tips might help you to understand yourself better and to keep going to what's important for you despite these challenging feelings and thoughts.